Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and I'm down here with Dan Priest. It's our time to talk insurance talk with Priest Insurance. Dan, how you and I were talking, how long has it been since we've seen it like this?
It's been a while since it's been kind of windless and warm and feeling like summer. Yeah.
Biggest thing is the sun's out and the surf's not as rough. You know, we talked last week, we're in hurricane season.
We are.
And so let's talk windstorm.
Okay.
You said ICC.
Yeah, let's talk about ICC.
What does that ICC stand for?
Increased cost of compliance.
Okay.
So when we talk about windstorm, there's a lot that goes on to that, and there's, you know, they haven't had any rate change in a few years, and I don't know, but I feel like that may be coming this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe you're looking, whatever happens in September, I'm sure you'll do something on that. But windstorm is an important component of your coverage down here on the beach, on your property coverage. Of course, you have the hazard policy, which is fire, theft, lightning, things of that nature. And then you have the flood policy, which we talked about before, is the water coming up, maybe wave action against your house.
Right.
And then there's windstorm.
Okay.
Which, when you get a wind category 1 through 5, that can be a significant amount of damage. So one of the things that you can do with cost is look at your deductible component and decide what you're willing to absorb on a personal level. In other words, your self-insurance to help fight the rate. But one of the things you don't want to do is be caught with what I term a hidden deductible.
Right.
So, and that's where something like ICC can come into play.
Okay.
So if your house is built, the windstorm policy is really built to replace what's there.
Right.
Okay, so if you have a brand new house that's built currently to code and something happens, you are covered based on that policy unless there's a code change in the middle of a storm. But let's say you have an older house, maybe a house that was built in 2000, and which was governed by a different code. So, and the windows that you have in that house, they may be, the cost of those windows may be $200 a piece. And I'm just arbitrarily talking numbers right now.
Okay.
So your windstorm policy replaces that window.
At $200.
At whatever the current cost is. But windstorm code or building code may not allow you to put that very same window back in.
Right.
So the new window may cost $500.
Right.
ICC covers that gap.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So that what was working and what you have to have now, it covers the gap in between that.
Yeah, so let's say you lost 4 or 5 windows.
Yeah.
Okay.
That can add up
That
quick.
can add up in a hurry to what you have to go in. So not only do you have your deductible, you have this possibly hidden deductible that is sitting on top of that. And that can apply to your roofing shingles, that can apply to your doors, it can apply to siding, the nail, it can really add up in the event of significant damage. So one of the things that we talk to people about, and you don't have to have that, it's not mandatory coverage, it is elective coverage. But as your home ages, the importance of that coverage, it grows. And so you might want to consider either just paying for that, which could be, I don't know, an extra 15-20% on your premium.
Right.
Or you could compensate for that with a larger deductible, and you still know largely what your maximum out-of-pocket cost would be. So that's one of the things to talk to us or talk to your agent about and see what's best suited for you and your house. It's really important you do that now especially.
Well, and like we said last year, and I'm going to say it again this year, it's not a matter of if you're going to need it. It's a matter of when you're going to need it.
Yeah,
it could be this year. It could be 5 years from now. It could be 10 years from now. You know, we didn't have a major storm down here for 30 years.
Nope.
And so imagine houses that were built 30 years before that, and then the difference in the cost. That's why, you know, we talk about it on every show. You know, when we're talking about insurances, have your agent or give Priest Insurance Agency a call to make sure that your policy's up to date, because if you don't need it, you may not look at it.
So, and one of the things talking about, we had a client within the past 2 weeks that we added. It was a house that was built after Ike, but things have changed since then. Right. So they had, and up until recently, they hadn't had ICC. But when we talked about it and we put it back on there, the difference between them being able to rebuild last time when Ike happened and come back on was the ICC coverage. ICC and flood is a little different thing, but they both can apply and supply extra money for you. So it's really important coverage to have, and as our homes age, it's important to do.
Well, and remember, once that storm breaks into and we'll do a show on the lines because we did it last year.
Sure.
You can't bind anything, even if it's 3 weeks out.
If it's sitting there in the Gulf for 3 weeks.
If it's in the Gulf, you can't do anything for insurance. So now's the time. And, you know, I've seen all the news agencies, the Weather Channel in Galveston County and Houston. Everyone's talking about hurricane season because we haven't had anything happen here really in Texas for a while. And they don't want anyone to forget. You know, we did it on one of the other shows. The stuff you take with you, your insurance, your electric bill, your water bill, so you can get back in, a plan, your pets. You know, we've got a box for Gabby.
Yeah.
You know, because Gabby's going to load up with Chris and go to Austin, and we've got her stuff together. I've got just about everything I need, but Anthony and I are working over the next couple weekends consolidating stuff so that if we have to load up the studio, we can do it in about 4 hours, 5 hours, you know, because get out with it in, and I told people this all the time. If you leave it here, you've got to be able to do without it.
Yeah.
You know, because I learned during Ike, it may not be here when you get back.
So, you know, one of the things that we're talking about here, and we're not just talking about, oh, here's hurricane season, let's create a lot of conversation about it. It's a real deal. And yes, this year is forecast to be a big year. That doesn't mean anything's
Knock on wood, it's not.
Yeah, I want to borrow that. That doesn't mean that there's a storm that's going to be entering the Gulf. It's just a forecast. So, and then some years, there's the forecast is low. It only matters if the storm hits here.
Right.
That's when it's a bad year.
And 50 miles or 100 miles one way is okay.
The other way is
50 or 100 miles is bad. And so, you know, a storm 75 miles to hit down the coast like Harvey, you know, we got a little rain because the way it came up the coast, but we didn't get the winds in that. But then you get one that hits in Sabine.
It's non-existent.
You know, and it's a whole different story. And so plan ahead.
Well, you're talking about the difference between, say, a Rita, which hit over in Johnson Bayou, and we just had a little wind damage here. I think the bay's emptied of water.
Right.
Or reaching way back into the 80s and talking about Alicia, which hit down, I think, around Freeport, and went straight to Houston, knocked all the glass out of the city.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, you know, Alicia was a small storm that sprung up overnight, and we had about 4 or 5 feet of water here. The reason I know is there was seaweed on my deck, on my steps.
On your steps.
Yeah, and that's, you know, so it depends. A smaller storm down there created a bigger damage here than a Rita, which hit there.
And I can remember Ike, for months, driving back from Winnie, you saw seaweed and stuff up in the power lines, you know, because you knew how high the water was. So, well, we do this show every Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock where we talk insurance. We may talk fishing, we may talk shrimp, but it's here on Bolivar. And Priest Insurance has been here. They've been tied to Bolivar for over 40 years. Dan's family had a home here. He has a home here. They rebuilt after Ike because they had insurance and they knew what they had. So please reach out to them. You can go to their website, get all their contact, or email them off at it's priestinsuranceenagency.com. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Here in about another week, if it stays like this, we'll have fishing rods for
fishing
trout
rods,
leaned up against the truck. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye. Priest Insurance Agency has been located in the heart of Lumberton, Texas since 2001, providing a consultative approach and educating customers on how their insurance works for them throughout the coastal region of Texas. Priest Insurance specializes in the coastal region of Texas, covering home, auto, business, and recreational insurance. With ties to the coastal communities, Dan Priest has had the sand between his toes since 1972, with a home on Bolivar Peninsula in Galveston County. He survived a storm named Ike, but lost his home. With insurance coverage, his family was able to rebuild following the 2008 storm and continues to make memories beachfront. Priest Insurance specializes in the coastal communities, family dwellings, investment property, and business insurance. They've been there. Whether you're looking for or have a family retreat along the Texas coast, investment property, or a business, Priest Insurance would be honored to work with you and your family to make sure you're covered anytime trouble arises. For more information on Priest Insurance and their contact information, please visit their website at www.priestinsuranceenagency.com, or their office is open for phone calls with questions and consultation Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. by calling 409-755-7600. Priest Insurance Agency, working and educating customers, making sure they understand and have the coverage they deserve.